So you've written the Power Zero focused on the 0% tax bracket. You followed that up with the volatility shield that related to investment volatility on retirement planning. I want to transition this next question to what I think is one of the most monumental changes that people are not talking about, the Secure Act. What do you believe will be the impact of the Secure Act, and what advice would you give clients concerning that new tax law change?
I think that's a great question, and I think that it's not a lot of people are confronting. For example, I do workshops all across the country. I routinely ask rooms full of people, when will the IRS start forcing you to take money out of your IRAs and 401ks? What do they say? 70 and a half. And they don't realize that as of January 1st, 2020, that the RMD date has been moved back to age 72. But that's not even something that I'm really familiar or even worried about. It just gives you a sense for how familiar people are with the changes that came about with the Secure Act. The big, massive change that came about with the Secure Act is the death of the stretch IRA. In other words, it used to be that if you wanted to pass your IRA on to your kids, that they could draw that IRA down over their own life expectancy, stay in a very low tax bracket, just take a little bit at a time over their life expectancy. Well, guess what? The IRS wants to get that money back into circulation much faster. Mm-hmm. And so they are now requiring that you spend that money down, the non-spouse beneficiary, the kids, that they actually spend that money down. They realize it as income over 10 years. To give you an idea on that, if you have $1 million in an IRA and it's growing at 6.5% per year, that means you're going to have to take about $125,000 out per year every year for 10 years. Guess what? If your kids inherit that 20 years from now, it's almost certainly going to be at a period in time when tax rates are dramatically higher than they are today, at the apex of their earning years, at a period in their lives when they can least afford to pay the taxes. So this is very clearly a cash grab on the part of the IRS. And so the people who aren't prepared could lose up to 50% of their IRAs before it ever reaches their children. The important thing to consider, though, is that if you can utilize a couple of very proactive and preemptive tax moves before you die, then you can ensure that your children receive all of that money tax-free.